You know, I've lived here a long time, and I've driven by this place, and I just never noticed what it is except that it was really nothing. And one day, somebody needed help to put things in the garden, quote unquote, and so I got to come into this garden, and I saw this amazing potential.
I walked in and saw what a disaster the garden was and the enormous potential. And it was too good to resist. It was just an unopened oyster. I knew there was a pearl in here. I just knew it was somewhere.
When I first came to work with the Learning Garden, I really thought a lot of what I was going to be doing out here was to be the on-site thinker. I ended up doing things of the heart and of the soul. But you know what? That's a lot of what this garden means to so many people.
Having a garden at a school can offer so many opportunities to a school and to the students and to the teachers.
The importance of this garden is that this garden and gardens like it provide a critical element for students who are, I hate to use the word, but ignorant of the process of nature. These students are starved for what is natural.
I like it because you can be outside. Most classes you're inside 5 days a week. Here you're out at least 3 times.
5 days a week? You mean every day?
It's horrible being inside just a hot class for 8 hours. It's nice to get outside and be around nature, and you learn a lot too.
When we first came here, I think there were fewer than 30 students that were taking high school gardening classes that actually gardened out here in the garden. Now it's over 150.
I teach what I call sneak science. 3 days a week at least they are out in the garden, and they learn by hands-on. What do they look like?
Little tiny seeds.
They're tiny seeds.
Super tiny.
Super tiny seeds.
I can't see that. I need glasses.
They learn the life cycle of a plant. They learn the life cycle of soil. They learn that soil is alive.
I learned there's a lot more life in gardens than I thought. I thought it was just plants, but there's a whole bunch of bugs that live off of there, and most of them you don't even see below the surface.
They learn an enormous amount of science here. They just don't get it strictly from book learning. You've seen the ladybugs on the sunflowers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen them all over the place? That's what we have our sunflowers for. They're taking care of themselves, they're taking care of plants, their tools, they have to take care of their soil.
I was using my little pickaxe over here. Makes me feel like one of the 7 dwarfs from Snow White.
You gonna plant anything?
Yeah, bulbs.
Bulbs? Oh. You gonna plant anything?
Yeah, bulbs.
What are bulbs?
A lot of students are kinesthetic learners, and this is where they learn the best.
Man, there's a lot of healthy stuff in the garden.
These students don't see anything positive about preserving their wildlife or preserving their future because the people around them don't consider to preserve it. They start to lose respect and they become indifferent to their surroundings. You not only need to respect yourself, but the environment around you. Plants and everything else and every living thing deserves consideration.
The high school students that first came into the garden the first year would never dare eat anything out of the garden. It was dirty, it was yuck. They would never take the food that they grew and eat it. It was too strange for them. By the next year, I saw the kids climbing the loquat tree and eating things right off the tree and digging their food out and getting excited. So the change in just the perception of food was amazing in 1 year.
The carrots we eat here, like we grow the carrots, and I learned that they're better when they're about just a few inches long, whereas in the grocery store they're like a foot long, and they're really not that tasty at the grocery store compared to the ones here.
What's the difference between the ones you buy from the store and the ones here?
The strawberries that we tried come straight from the ground and they're organic, so they're really, really, really sweet, which is really yummy.
It's amazing how their perceptions of food and how they feed themselves and how they treat themselves slowly changes.
We also have some peaches. The teachers tend not to take them, but if we don't take them, then someone else will. We're just spreading the circle of life.
And those little carrot sticks that they sell at the grocery store, they aren't that good either.
Yeah.
That's why you have to dip them in something always.
That's a fava bean, right? You can take that home and cook it?
It is no miracle. It is not amazing teaching.
You eat them raw? Good. Just like that?
They don't give you gas?
What it is patience and exposure.
Hey, all right. Sweet.
These students need to be exposed to a different type of life or a different type of doing things, and they will get it.
It's fresh, so when we, pick it out, it's all sweet and stuff. It's not, artificial flavors or whatever they put in it.
Hey, broccoli's awesome.
Homegrown is always better.
The light goes on when they finally realize that growing organically ties into everything they do when they are born into this earth. They finally realize that they are part of the world. It's important. It's a big coming of age.
Everybody should switch to organic.
How come?
Because organic is always better and it's chemical free. And you don't have to worry about having steroids in your body from a plant.
You think that most kids know that?
Not that many kids know it because a lot of kids aren't really exposed to it. Like their parents don't even know about it.
The horticulture classes started selling their food and the teachers were eating better. Everything shifted.
What we do here is basically grow different type of crops and plants organically to sell to the teachers at Venice.
They've proven that you can raise the test scores by 10 points just by providing a simple, delicious, well-balanced meal in the schools. So that's certainly one of the most cost-effective ways we have of educating our youngsters. If we can educate them to the fact that a broccoli straight from the plant is extremely sweet, delicious, then perhaps we've come a long way so they will choose the foods that are more healthy for them rather than just continually stopping off at McDonald's for fast food.
What is it, a flower?
No,
It's a fruit?
yeah,
You can see it.
the artichoke.
It's still drawing.
As a homeopath, my first interest in this garden was in medicinal plants because I work with natural medicine.
My interest in the garden really began as someone who studied Chinese herbs and never had any opportunity to have contact with the plants while they were growing live.
I guess I'm basically a nut for Chinese herb plants. This herb is Scutellaria. The roots have this beautiful yellow color. It's used a great deal for infections and treating diarrhea and dysentery, lung infections, bronchitis.
Acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine are wonderful for reducing stress, and it's a wonderful prevention for immune system problems, reducing the spread of colds and flus, reducing problems with insomnia, fatigue, digestive disorders, helps to increase attention span of students who are suffering from ADD or hyperactivity.
This one's a great one for allergies and sinus problems, chronic rhinitis, where the nose is blocked frequently. It can be used for frontal headaches. It's a very useful herb.
In most societies where herbal medicine is practiced, many of the herbs are included as part of the regular diet. Many of them are food herbs or culinary herbs that people grow in their backyards and they use them when they're catching a cold or flu, they've got a digestive upset.
This is an interesting herb. This herb is Artemisia annua. Many of the drugs that have been used previously for malaria have developed strains of malaria that are resistant to those drugs, but this herb has not. And this is what the World Health Organization has become very interested in it for.
There's a great benefit to people in learning how to use the herbs that can be grown in their area as medicines, as food, as part of their diet in order to supplement their nutrition.
I think it's important for people to recognize that there are methods available that don't cost nearly as much as the typical Western system of medicines usually do. And they typically have less side effects. They're working many times preventatively, and they help to strengthen the person too over time. Many times practitioners in my field, they get people coming as a last resort, and I wish that they could have found out a long time ago that this was possible. I wish I would have known about this when I was a kid instead of being treated with all of the doctor's visits and drugs that I was given.
We have 3 gardens. devoted to herbs, and I'm going to add a fourth which is strictly dedicated to the treatment of diabetes.
Understanding about these plants and understanding how to grow them, understanding how they're used, it just empowers people. It gives them more choices. It gives them the possibilities of being able to care for themselves. I think it's critical for people. Having a garden like this, it heals us.
Tai Chi is one of the kind of best exercise. Tai Chi is good for the kids and the high school the student. When you study, you can use the Tai Chi concentrate. You can use the Tai Chi relax. Then you concentrate you the exam. Tai Chi is long term. If you decided to do the Tai Chi, you need to keep going. Yeah, if you keep going, you not give up. There's a lot of benefit for you. Yeah. Tai Chi is a good exercise for any age people. You practice very good like me in this garden. You outside like body dancing, very beautiful, very smooth. Whatever you want, you can control the Tai Chi inside very strong. Sometimes you're very depressed. Don't worry. You use the Tai Chi. Do the Tai Chi. The stress is gone.
I would love city planners to come out here and see this. In fact, they have, and they've been very impressed with it. But I would love them to realize that they can do this same thing on city property in so many places.
Instead of just having buildings around, you should have a nice garden like this one.
It should not be paved over. It should not be graveled. It should be a garden.
I just think it's cool. It makes the school look beautiful.
The garden looks better than the school because the garden, you can't spray paint it.
It is very important that grassroots effort keep the quality of life for our communities. And we're the only ones that are going to do it. It's not going to be our government.
Well, the future really is in our own hands. We really do have to decide what that future will look like. Somehow, the conflicts in our society today are going to have to be solved. And the way I see it, gardens can figure very prominently in those solutions.
I think people are looking for something, especially kids. I think they're searching for something. I think that plants and gardens can provide them with a lot that they're looking for.
You think you're a pro now after you've been doing this?
I've been in this class for 2 semesters. I don't think anything. I just think I've been around flowers a lot.
What do you think that's done for you?
It's turned me into a flower head.
Flower head?
the other day, I thought I saw a seed growing out of my head. I couldn't tell.
The Learning Garden is created not just to help the people of Venice High School or the people of this community. It's to inspire the rest of you to do something in your own community on the same level.
You know, put down your books, put down your cell phones, come outside, sit in the sunshine, smell the flowers, eat a tomato straight off the vine. You'll really love it.
The garden is the students. Those are the seeds you plant. Those are the seeds you grow.